Yeah, man. Here we are. Look a bit slower with the band of pace here, man. Alright. I posted something up recently pertaining to Canada 150. This isn't about the words that people focus on. For me, things, when they tell me things are different now. So yeah, they are different. And I must reconcile myself with that. No, dude. That is not my path. They don't hang black people from trees anymore. Like it is supposed to be forgotten, you know. For 50 years. And even today, isolated cases. I saw one on the internet last week where a bunch of guys with a rebel flag were hanging a young black girl. And it's all over the internet. The fact that some of these cowards, they keep showing it to intimidate. It is idiotic to think that I should forget when I see the same look in some of the white men's eyes today. The only difference, you know, is that I get to return it now, you know. And I look at them and say, I'm not preaching violence to anyone. I'm just letting a boy know the state of mind some of we really are in right now. We are aware that retaliation is an attractive option for some of us, and we're willing and ready. Self-defense is a fitness for some of us. We forget that the people we speak of, the 1%ers, really have no concern for you people. You understand? When I use the term white people, I'm not talking about you. You don't need to keep defending yourself against it, because it's not you we're talking about. You have no money. You don't dictate shit. You're a slave just like me. But you were told you were white, so you were superior, so that's what keeps the status quo, right? But you're no more superior than anybody else. You're in the same boat as us. You just act. And there are certain programs in place to keep you in a positive position. Many of these sheep are programmed to protect the system that degrades themselves. Yeah. Look, one race has murdered all, on all continents and all islands. They got kicked out of China, which was Hong Kong. They got kicked out of India, Gandhi kicked them out. But they have more murderous footholds all over Africa and what they call the Commonwealth, whose Commonwealth it is, yeah. Where they find a common place to rape these subjects of theirs. That's me, I'm one of those subjects you're talking about. And my goal is to open the eyes to look globally, yet see the issues also in microcosm, as the chaos that they create confuse you. Corruption operates on all levels, micro and macro, and they are aware of these things. You and I just keep going along, every day just trying to pay our bills. Papa Era, you have the escort?
Yeah, coming up, looking for it.
Oh, alright. Well, we will pay a tune, because people think because I speak a certain way, I don't love Canada. Listen on. And then when I speak a certain way, they want to send me back to Jamaica. There's a lot of things about Jamaica I don't like either. Where you going to send me after that? Africa? I'm going to cuss after African people, and where you send me after that? Where I go? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. So, as a proud Canadian, I'm not going to go along with genocide and racism. Why is that question even on the table? You know what I mean? Why aren't you asking these important things? Canada 150 years. The system has what I call these people enablers. They know me and other black people, and they feel the need to explain to me every time I'm disgruntled that things are better. We need to stop talking. You people need to stop talking to me. You need to stop yourselves. You have never lived a moment in my shoes or in any black person's shoes or known the history of what we live. Stop telling me to get over it. Stop telling me to forget about the past. Stop bringing up the past. That's the programming that they put into you idiots. We have to bring up the past because they created that past, this current, present, and the future. So we must talk about them. If we're not going to change, we just stop talking. The abuses to humanity are prices that we pay to have this better society. How is it better if we're still abusing people? The enable defend it hard without a second thought. Why did you come here? If it's so bad here, why did you come here? Why didn't you stay in Jamaica? That is a difficult conversation to have with those deliberately blinding themselves from things like that. IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and other crippling organizations owned by our masters who have successfully corrupted what they call so-called third world countries like Jamaica and other West Indian countries, keeping them dependent like junkies at a crack house. Go back to the squalor that we orchestrated with the use of the CIA and CSIS, lending institutions like the World Bank and IMF, or stay in relatively more civilized, racist degradation of Canada the good. Canada the good. Alright, Massa, I goes for option 2. I'll accept the civilized racist degradation. Things are better. Really? I say let them keep all their money, bombs, drones, etc. But I will not participate in white supremacist celebrations because they allowed me to live on their planet. Accept the fact that we see what you have to offer. Not interested in this path, so let's change it to a more humanitarian path. Then, knowing that you won't stop, but I won't stop either. If you are a just people, we see the native populations being here for thousands of years before any European. As a matter of fact, thank you, Antoinette, the 1608 or 1605, I think, the first European was here. And when he got here, there were native people here. 1605, that's more than 150 years ago. So if we want to celebrate anything, we're celebrating it as a unit, as a group of people. So, can you pause? Yes, thank you. The team broke out pile.
Yes, I checked something to kick off.
Alright, well, yeah, we're gonna get ready for that tune. As people, we would honor and celebrate the people who were supposedly your first or First Nations people. We should be celebrating them as well. Instead, we have a date chosen from some European source with some important significance that deals directly with white supremacy. That is an undeniable truth. We wouldn't be celebrating it if it wasn't a bunch of white men telling us we should be grateful for this time. So I put the question out to the world to watch the responses. Most of the people wouldn't go near it, which I knew. But I also know that some of them, the bigger will leak out of them because they didn't realize it. Lots of black people responded basically the same, and all the white people on my thing didn't realize that they are enablers. I was waiting for some black enablers too, but we didn't get any. Some do it in one day now, while others are quite ignorant to why they need to explain to me, to black people, me, their black friend, why my approach is the wrong one. The enabler is one who needs the system to stay just as it is. The enabler, they enable the status quo to remain by questioning, and by questioning my need for change. The enabler who pulls you back into the system, he or she is like the sheep. You know the sheepdog, or push the sheep? The enabler is the sheepdog. Black people are telling you from personal experience, and the enabler who has never lived a millisecond in our skin is telling you to appreciate all you have around you and forget the inferiority moniker. I know that you are equal to me, but the system needs things to flow this way, so it's best for you to still feel inferior. But we know you are on the same. The enabler allows you to calm down within the system. It is irrelevant that they were never black, because their white intellect knows better than your black intellect. Some of them convince themselves that they mean you well. Asking me to accept this is not for my well-being. You cannot enable me into a shitstorm that I spend much of my time trying to deprogram myself from. Programming in the schools that we went to for all these years allowed me to accept degradation, because I was taught that I was supposedly inferior from my birth. I knew from early days about this apartheid thing, you know. I was 17 years old, my first year in Canada. And like everybody else now, you have to get a part-time job and do certain things if you want to make ends meet, you know. You can't tax your parents for money, because you just reach here, so you're just trying to figure out how to make it through, you know. So whether it's a maximal job or you go to an engagement today or whatever, there's always looking for a job. So when I go to job hunt now, I say, yeah, I cannot do, yeah. When I go to the job hunt, what I'm saying to you, do you have any Canadian experience?
Under here.
Do you have any Canadian experience? What does that mean? That was their big get out of jail card, you know. So them don't have to tell you, so them don't hire you because you look too right off the board. I won't get into how degrading that really is, you know. I just leave it alone, because I don't want to have to argue with somebody who's a bigot. If any colored person went job hunting in Jamaica, no one would ask them if they had the Jamaican experience. Not one person. Either you qualified or you're not. From that very moment, I knew where I stood and what my status was from one single little sentence. Do you have any Canadian experience? The interviewer was letting me know that I was fresh off the slave ship and I needed some plantation experience, knowing my place, and would be hired when it was deemed suitable. I knew then in 1976, as I know it now in 2017, that I'm expected to suppress my previous life and get the celebrations of the colonial empire. I was already broken when they told me that I was independent in 1962. When they gave us Jamaicans an anthem, a really nice anthem, I played it at the beginning of the show for you, and a flag, we're proud of the black, gold and green, you know. I will never get one thing else except to be raped to this very day by a colonial system. Things are better because you don't hang from trees anymore. The person saying it in his defense has no idea how much he was trying to enable me to the system. Before you see it now,
Yes.
we're coming from.
Who?
So calm down and take how much
Just
better things are.
Over there. So,
Lynching. That's the subliminal thing they use to enable us back to the plantation.
yeah, try and tell them.
It is by lynching and whippings and sodomy were public events on the plantation, you know. They used to lynch people at a time when everybody was called out to watch it happen. They used to beat people and sodomize the big strong slaves. This dude has no idea that he would become an enabler or an attempted enabler. He may be unaware of his role. Many of them are. There is no equality for all people. That is blatantly clear. I do not wish to celebrate white superiority. Whatever the explanation of Canada 150 turns out to be, it is to celebrate some white achievement. Nothing wrong with it. It's their thing. Celebrate whatever you like. They celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But I can't feel pride in celebrating white supremacy when Native people are being decimated. I'm fully aware that no one's listening, really, but I still have to talk the talk. As a proud Canadian, I want to defend all Canadians. See? And that is where I was raised in Jamaica. And I bring it to this country because I feel that all people are equal. So for all of you who love the red and white, just like me, I'm going to play a Esco Levi. Run through now. Away from home, yeah. That's the one called Esco Levi. Young man leave Jamaica and come here. And as I'm telling you, the same love and pride we have in being Jamaican, we have the same vibes when it comes to being Canadian. But we don't have to love what the government is doing. You people bring it down to a black and white thing. It is white supremacy, but we're not talking about white supremacy as it's like this distant thing. It is being done by some of the people in our government. So, racism is global and it's constant and it's from one decade to the next decade, from century to century, right? So I came across this wonderful interview with Muta Baruka and Bonnie Wheeler. Bonnie Wheeler don't always give you, interviews. What I was trying to find for you was his speech about Bongo Grass Card, where he totally cussed off the Jamaican government at an event where the Prime Minister P.J. Patterson was at the event and other people, and totally said the reason for Jamaica's demise is the colonial governments that we keep putting in place, every single one of them. But he was telling us that years ago, and some people think they're joking, and I'm telling it to you today, and other people besides me are telling it to you. You understand? In order for Jamaica to elevate, we need Jamaicans from around the globe to step up in any way possible. Any way. You understand? It can be orthodox, it can be unorthodox, but the scamming where I go on at Jamaica and ripping off the people there, and the reason those things are happening because there's no other alternatives to work. We're supposed to have vinyl pressing plants are running at Jamaica now for years anyway, because we still have produced reggae vinyl. People have buy vinyl all over the world. And them now make a Jamaica, but a reggae music I play, and Jamaicans are making any money from it. We need to have vinyl studios. We need to have our fruits and vegetables that we love, which many of them are cancer fighting. We want to eat our food. Jamaican government. You understand? I believe that's it, so it's less difficult for really them come at me, It's more difficult. So I'm gonna keep talking because them can shut everybody mouth anytime they want to shut it. But John, okay, if Jamaica is to elevate, we need Jamaicans from around the globe to speak out against the colonial governments. It don't matter who them put in power, you know. It doesn't matter. Voting is a foolish thing that them trick people into. Why do you vote? What do? They count the ballots of the gullible people who think they actually can make a change. Voting has nothing to do with the government in place. All of them who are there are called bank tellers. They're taking care of the franchise, whether it's United States of America, Canada, or Jamaica. They're bank tellers. Seen? So this interview I found, it's about 10 minutes of your time. But you really read between the lines, but it's not really between the lines. They was talking about Nelson Mandela and the fact that actually, instead of me I tell you, you know, why don't I just run the interview? We can discuss after. Run the truth, brother.
Bonnie,
Bless.
blessed man.
Bless.
How you doing?
You come to life and
Okay.
also there. There's a fool that you kind of time.
Yeah, man. Alright, so we did not talk how you said the 48 thing about Winnie Mandela speech.
Yes, and you want to see, that's what I think about serious here now, but in the first instance, Mandela actually defends certain things, right?
Yeah.
Where in fortunate to survive, all of them things do with the other man, the kill the rest of man, they're going to do with it. You know, I think the best can, right? But at the same time, in the plea for Mandela, was about 27 years,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah, 27
free
years,
Mandela. It kind of discards from the fight against apartheid to more the free of Mandela.
yeah.
So, our expectation to free Mandela is like should be kind of disappointed
Yes.
to see that he believing that the freedom of Mandela would bring about a revolution
Yeah, economical strength to black
and
people.
strength to the people and the people of South Africa,
Yeah,
which is the majority.
yeah.
It didn't show that sign, it didn't turn out that way.
No.
And then now, really, they say, you go like a Jesus.
To white people, I don't lie, man.
But that's what I hear now. That's here,
Yeah, him save them.
yeah.
Him save them. Him save them. I don't know no white person who will talk anything against Mandela, Nelson Mandela.
That was almost a girl, come on, it couldn't be anything.
No, him save them, man.
Couldn't be anything. I have to clone people to, you know.
But you know, say, you have alright, the weirdest thing, you have some youth in South Africa, you know, when they are not talking, them say, I know the same Mandela will have to come up.
No, that's true, they're easy. Them things that what, you know, the race, we have to do these things and to experiment. Then come on, and people on that speed away.
I'm going like a damn. No, you have some youth in South Africa say, there's no way I see a Mandela that whenever them assassinate Mandela in that prison, bring out that clone. By the way.
Yeah, they can do that, man. They can tell people to put them on the land, be a cock, like.
Yeah, because them can't understand the sudden sweet sound. Boof.
Yeah, nothing couldn't go so.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a really hard, it's a right call.
Yes,
I
yeah.
can't really talk about, you know.
Yes.
It's a right call.
Yes.
But some things could, you know, where it's a really interesting, like I said, you know.
We don't do chance out of him steal, but. We don't do chance.
That's it,
But she doesn't say, watch your man. I know that me fight for. I know that me fight for. Watch your man. The man them legislate in South Africa homosexuality. It's the only country where have homosexuality in Africa where have homosexuality in the constitution. As a eh?
in Africa.
Yeah, in Africa. It's the only constitution in Africa where have the homosexuality legalization of homosexuality in the constitution. And she was
It is written that Alexander did for homosexual.
Yeah, with most of them still.
So them still are just as another new people.
You know, you have Africans who are fighting. You have Africans
Yeah,
who
in
are fighting.
Africa, we get like it, you might say, it's like Kingston, the reach there yet.
Yes.
Because of the team and the whole apartheid thing. All the other small people. You remember one time when someone got South Africa, when they were sanctioned?
Yeah.
They lose all that status and
Yeah, like Jimmy Kidd, they go there, them lose and win.
Alright.
So
You remember one time some critical of some of them up here, the people in the West Indies.
Yeah.
All of them up here, they don't make some money. And they the white regime and see them.
Yeah, apartheid regime.
And them carry a gun in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And we see, after apartheid supposed to end, the security side team come from South Africa.
Yeah.
And I want the black man to follow.
One black man, yeah man, that's true man.
So, and the people go to go watch it. And nobody going to say, no.
Yeah. Mixed
So
dog.
why I would not mix up?
Mixed dog, yeah man. Anyway, we are dealing with what here though. Yeah.
Well, I'm not half the millennium culture, something rather than a big for the tribes of Israel, the Bobo Shanti, Ethiopian Orthodox, and Rastafarians globally. Presents Rasta family affair. Fun musical day and night affair on May the 1st, 2010. And ceremony calls it the College 20 Mona Road, Kingston 6. Music by a popular Rasta song. All invited, including Bonnie Miller, Sisa Kalanchi, King Sango, Anthony B, Lutan Fire, Queen Ifrika, Puna Ribbon, Uka Uka, Tahoe Style, hosting rather musical Rastafari. So it's an opportunity to all Rastafarians, Rasta. It's an opportunity to come in and, exchange one time, line it, and
Alright, is that
Do
free
you
thing
know
or
anything
what?
about that? What did ever turn out to that?
Nope.
That shouldn't be I thought it was just
Okay.
a straight, yeah.
No, I want to hear all this. Trust me. Let me keep going.
You have to put together that kind of package where, economically balanced.
Yeah.
This is what I want to keep here. Organize and centralize.
Yes. Yeah.
The more the rest of my school, I know I live in a little bit our country getting wide and enough. So that is the work is on the agenda as far as Rastafarians are concerned. I want the Rastafarians in general who know that they are Rastafarians when they are called to other situations to, show their talent and their work. What are we respond when they are called to Rasta?
By Rasta. When them Rasta call them, they must dead.
Yes, it don't look good.
The kind of people call them dead.
Yes, and I see the man who they were bonfire pan.
Yeah.
Bonfire pan and pig pan. And the man they show them around and things that them are here. And yet he was that here. When them call them, we see how them are going to tour, how them are going to this and them are going to that. So, I just want I can let them say. They return to make sure them collection is paid full. And I really can support them really prospects and members whatever they belong to. So
Rasta.
This is the same category. And it should do the same. In supporting anything with Rasta. Bring about especially Rasta don't have money, Rasta don't have riches, The Rasta say is not and collect like a boy, I'm a boy that don't give you a hard jump, So, when a Rasta man in this country, I'm about to see that, says, Rasta Emmanuel, Rasta, and come on to that $2 million and tax. That's it. So, we need Rasta man to pay attention to all the church, to all the collections, we have to build those things that are relevant in this modern civilized time, and I realize that teacher and I have that. We have to be civilized and as modern as the age. You know what I mean? Sense itself, because we are be who we are.
We can't go like we see that live in a Stone Age.
Eh?
We can't go like we see that live in a Stone Age.
No,
Step it up, step it up, step it up.
Come on, I would do that.
Yeah.
Because everything is still going to food and store, you know.
Of course.
If you push back the things now, but it's still not.
Yeah.
And plastic and glass and things.
Still I come from the earth.
Yeah. You can't put let's say the come from out there.
Out there. Yeah, so it's from clean. Yeah, man.
So that is where Rastaman must be reminded at this time.
Yeah. First of me.
First of me.
Yeah.
Rasta. All day and night. It's a Rasta family here. So you can have the deal themselves right and about and you don't know. And then now I never be on stage.
Conscious artists, conscious music. Yes, of course.
Of course, and we like all people in general, rural Rasta and Rasta. When we hear a big so-called, like Palayaro, and Kaban shirt and with a Rasta artist, you know. Sorry. Everybody has Palayaro. Everyone just one is want to know, I suppose that the Rasta be certain development where things fall now with the houses together in one as the millennium. Council who want to make it worthwhile to see that Rasta can really come together in a unified manner. All the houses, the Bosans, the Diabingi, everyone, the Orthodox, the 12 tribes of Israel, all in one now working together to fulfill this purpose.
Yes, man. Sometimes, Bridget.
Every time.
Rasta, yes, Monuela. First and me, as you must say. 20 Mona Road are coming together. Music, reasoning, just having fun. You understand? This is the Continent and RFM.
Yeah, microphone. To touch on first is probably the last part of what they were discussing. Rastafari people supporting Rastafari people. The Reggae for Life thing that I am trying to accomplish is to encourage our fan base, reggae people who love reggae, people who have come to the shows that I'm a part of or done, to invest in me and reggae so I can continue doing what I do, just like they invest in the space program or insurance companies or whatever it is. They invest lots of money into it. Bunny will I tell you, say, everybody else, the Christian church, Anglican church, Muslim, everybody collect money for them religion doing. We're not looking at money, that's the man tell you now. And heap of riches, we reinvest in what we do, into our culture and our music as we live a spiritual existence. We need it. That is why I think we are able to accept so much shit. It's because we're so strongly spiritual, we just keep taking it, as opposed to exploding and changing it. But organize and centralize is a terminology that Rastafari people use. And a Rastafari council here in Toronto would be a blessed thing. So I'm putting those words out there. Already talking to a few people. It is something that we should be doing in order to have our youths, a place to come and learn and reason and share knowledge and, push Rastafari forward into the places we need to be. Then the next part of the thing that we're talking about, and it's jovial, but it's information and conversation that has been had for years that people don't touch on. So I'll just do it for you. They're saying that you can't find no white people nowhere who don't love Nelson Mandela. He was like the savior for Europe when he came to Africa. People think he was supposed to be the savior for Africans. What he did, he came in with a whole nonviolent approach and then just did his term and then it petered out. What many were hoping for when he was released from prison which he was a very fire-breathing. If you read anything about Mandela, if you read his book, is why they're saying to you, the guy who went into jail isn't the guy who came out. Whether he was drugged, whether he was cloned, whatever terminology you want to use, many believe that the man who came out of jail was not the same person. And that's what Winnie was talking about. And they shut her down. Now, let's just look at what Mandela's release really meant, okay? Had he spoken to the other presidents of the African nations and come up with a plan to extradite every single European out of Africa, which is what was expected of him. Like Muammar Gaddafi or Saddam Hussein before that, they would have blown off Mr. Mandela's head. And that's a fact of life. You won't know these things because you never really thought about them, really. You thought that Mandela was just this great guy, and he's gone down in history as one of the most peaceful men, Nobel Peace Prize winner, and yeah, he saved, people think he saved the world because there would have been a world war over Africa, because Africa is the richest place on the planet. People would kill for Africa. You know, the Europeans would rise up. So people believe Mandela's decision saved lives, because had he decided to put his foot down, there would have been military action happening in Africa. To the detriment of the people as usual, and I say, yeah, unfortunately sometimes, you know, everything happens there, but sometimes the bombs unfortunately started hitting North American and British shores, as they did in Manchester the other day, and Boston, and you know, little pieces here and there. Them say what you reap is what you sow. So if I believe in that, then I have to change my behavior so that maybe we don't sow the negative that some of us deserve for not stepping up and fighting for other people who can't defend themselves. So yeah, also the show coming up on the 24th of June at Lee's Palace. I think I have a little promo for that set up somewhere, Ms. Harold. We'll give them a run for that first, and then we can run that wonderful tune by Mr. Ken Booth. Yeah, the Satellites and the Fugitive Band are coming together to really run out of the bamboo. So, ones on ones, you know, check out CanadianReggaeRoll.com, RootsReggaeRadio.ca.
Is it because of that?
Yeah. Can we put the ad before that?
Okay, let me see.
Is it possible?
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Lucky Mystic Ross will be on the show. It's his debut night with the big band and thing. They're rehearsing hard. And CIUT, Little Red what?
Redstone.
Liquor Redstone, they're the major sponsor. I should get that right, wouldn't I? Liquor Redstone is our major sponsor, and you know, we're trying to do what we can to keep the vibe strong and doing work.
We live in the night.
Yes, that's it right there. Thank you very much, my brother.
Really?
Yes, I run you.
Little Redstone Inc. presents Reliving a Night at the Bamboo, Saturday, June 24th, Lee's Palace, 529 Bloor Street West, featuring two of Toronto's reggae pioneers, the Fugitive Band and the Satellites. Reminisce, share the memory, and dance like we used to. Tickets $15 in advance, online at tickets.fugitive.com, or $20 at the door. Sponsored by Little Redstone Inc., CIUT 89.5 FM, Toronto Reggae, and CanadianReggaeWorld.com.
With my black skin. Yeah, we can play these things, you know, cause this is necessary, you know, like I said. Racism, bigotry, hatred is daily for me, against my people, against the people of this planet, not just black people. A lot of white people are taking abuses now that I didn't think they'd be taking because they're finding out the system doesn't care. So, every once in a while too, I get away from the doom and gloom of racism and talk about spiritual things and, you know, motivating things. And one of my little vibes today to all of you would be fitness and nutrition. A few years ago, I lost a friend of mine to a heart attack. My virgin was 48 years old. Then I lost another one at 52 years old to a heart attack. And then last night, one of my brethren, them who's a decade younger than me, 47, and when I told him that we were going to play ball, soccer next week, and, you know, I'd look forward to him coming out and so on, he said he's been forcibly retired from the game. He just had heart surgery 2 months ago. So, I said, you know, these things are gonna fix everything. Fitness and nutrition and health is a life. It's not a lifestyle, it's a life. You know, see? So, continue to motivate the people around you to fitness and to incorporate good nutrition, which in turn elevates the fitness. No one is trying to tell you to seek the fountain of youth. Yet one does feel more youthful when you're fit and you're healthy. This probably won't make you live any longer. It won't. That's a fact. You know, as you know, all the dates we were to be born and when we're leaving, they've been set before we were born. But remember about the protection of your temple. Eat your foods, eat your greens, eat your protein. All the medicine that you'll ever take when you are sick is all the food that you never ate. That's how you need to look at it. Sometimes, especially when it comes to things like a diabetes or what have you, maybe there was overdose of sugar and all them things that when you was young, but had you been, you know, dealing with moringa powder and flushing your system and your kidneys and your cucumber and your kale and, you know, all the foods that you can eat, fruits, vitamin C, you know, those things. And then regular exercise. And if you can't exercise every day, because as you get older it gets more difficult. People like me have a hard time. I have tendonitis in my ankles and my feet now. So when I wanted to go jogging every day, that has turned out to be like twice a week as opposed to every day. But I do what I can. And each day I do something. So I find my regime that I'm currently on is motivating other people around me. And then they call me and tell me what they're doing, and then it in turn motivates me to make sure I keep doing it. So working out isn't just what you can do at Good Life Fitness. You can walk around the block, you can do push-ups, you go in the park and do chin-ups on the monkey bars where the kids hang out. There's so many things you can do. Just stay active and eat. Man, eat greens. It really works. It digests things for you. So, you know, look into your nutrition. See? And on that note, I want to keep bouncing and jumping. This is one of the tunes I use when I love the shadow box. So this is one of the tunes. Run, tune, move it on. That sound like it. Right? No. So yeah, can give you a minute, but when I'm working out, when I'm shadow boxing and bouncing on the spot, this is a tune I use. Run it yourself, I'm pretty sure. Woo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Say you're gonna punk, you punk, you punk. Do
We're going to a party.
and I hope you are haunted. So please don't be haunted. For it's a funky reggae party. Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Child, the best captain I've ever heard in a record, child. Yes.
Little Redstone Inc. presents Reliving a Night at the Bamboo, Saturday, June 24th, Lee's Palace, 529 Bloor Street West, featuring two of Toronto's reggae pioneers, the Fugitive Band and the Satellites. Reminisce, share the memory, and dance like we used to. Tickets $15 in advance, online at tickets.fugitive.com, or $20 at the door. Sponsored by Little Redstone Inc., CIUT 89.5 FM, Toronto Reggae, and CanadianReggaeWorld.com.
Yeah, as we done that, I'm still laugh I mention what we're doing now is Roots Reggae Radio.ca, giving me the opportunity to spout the things I spout and make the noise I make. Saying, last week I met up with Norman Otis Richmond. I want to big up my brethren out there. He is, he gave me a newspaper that has been in circulation for over 50 years. It's called The Burning Spear, and it's a newspaper standing up for the black experience through the United States, but it's a global thing. You know, the Burning Spear is everywhere. You should look up Norman Otis Richmond, and when you see him, buy a paper and support the energy and learn and communicate and educate. And one of the things that the leader of the Burning Spear and the African Liberation Movement, I think it's called currently, the man I talk about stop, don't shoot and Black Lives Matter in a way that people don't want to hear it, but it is the truth. So if we're going to fix certain things, we have to talk the truth. Black Lives Matter and Stop, Don't Shoot are like black people begging white people to not shoot us. Don't you realize how much we matter? It's a distraction. It's a very placid way of us coming to the table asking for scraps from massa. You see, them not like the Black Panther movement, you know. They not love certain things about the aggression of what is happening out there, you know. So they want to feel safe. They want to know that we're not going to attack them. But we're not attacking you anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. We're not attacking you. But we still need more militant speeches, people to educate those around us. Seeing? So look out for the Burning Spear. Look out for Norman Otis Richmond. He's still out there doing his thing, keeping it real for the rest of us. And it is a necessity in our culture to keep speaking and making change, not just talking, but making change as well. No, it is impossible. Come sit down. Come sit down. It is impossible to tell how high any human being can be. It is impossible to say. Good timing. Yo, as I'm putting this out, yeah. Constant smokers who are functionally high. People like me, I'm on bun ganja and work, you know, because fortunately I work for myself right now. So, like I said, I'm talking to you about fitness. I'm talking to you about spirituality. I'm talking to you about positive things. Back in the day, they used to tell you people who smoke herb would be crazy. I don't know if you ever saw those ads. Look them up there. What do you call it? Marijuana rage or something. But they're out there. Those commercials are still on YouTube. They're funny. So you cannot be tested and somebody can figure out how high you are. It's not scientifically possible. And as I'm bringing this up and talking about these dumb laws that they're trying to put in place so that they can put more black people in jails, the item for wake up and defend other people, saying marijuana is not your enemy. Sometimes when you're doing a radio show about a whole heap of different topics, somebody walks in off the street and brings you a spliff. Bless up, Jeremy. So, in honor of my brethren walking in off the street into the show, I want to run a tune for you. And that tune is by the militant one, the Jacob the Triller Miller.
Please, Mr. Minister, our word with you.
What's going on? Good to see you, man. I was just on my way to thought
We're keeping at the same vein. We was expecting the young man, Mr. Kirk Diamond, and I'm sure he's still en route. But he did send me a ganja tune too, so I'm gonna run it for you right now. Run it, Mr. Selector.
From me a little youth, the doctor tell me asthma me secret. So me draw for the World Cup grass, and I eat to get kick with.
Okay, I gotta take a couple of tunes, and then I'm gonna come back to another topic. Papa my little five, and I gotta do
Yes, always. Yes. She medical marijuana. Why not?
Ever you see me try that, take a black and just leave my hand, 'cause I'm marijuana sitting on my brain, flow through my vein. Everybody know that everybody blood is red.
Yeah, ganja for smoke, you know. That's the one called Kirk Diamond. Hopefully I have a chance for like a reading session with him tonight, because he's one of those artists performing out of Canada now. He's been doing it quite a while, but he's one of those ones I have a feeling will continue to grow on an international level. Kind of them kind of vibes and energy there, you know? So we'll run some more tunes still, and the next one we run for you, we'll keep it in the marijuana theme. Is the Queen herself, you know, Queen Africa. This one is on the VP Records label. Medical marijuana. Yeah, sound yeah, man, that's the Queen herself. That album is off the VP record label. That was a nice like a marijuana stretch to run for you. The next one I want to play for you still now is something she feels, and it's the same story, you know. I talked to Ice Stick earlier today, and he showed me a clip of Bounty Killer. I talk about what is happening in Jamaica by the government of the country. Enough to know, you know, I woke up, so hopefully we can wake up a whole lot more people. Jamaica is ruled by a colonial system, by a government and 21 families that is supposed to keep the people of Jamaica suppressed so they can keep their money and run the country how they feel like it and hurt people and create crime and the things that are happening in Jamaica. In order to change that animalistic behavior, Jamaicans from around the globe need to get up and say something. So, Queen Africa said something. So check out this tune here. I like them, I tell, she said.
Dancehall and reggae TV.
That's right. Yeah.
Dancehall and reggae TV. Dancehall and reggae TV.
Maybe that's where it starts. Yeah. Alright, run it. Reggae for life.
You think I'm here doing a talk to talk to? You're a box of boy in them mouth, do it. You feel like a clap it to you. How will you? And I'm me when I talk them thing, everybody has to say the same thing. I will. Then she does some things. Good night, Rob. Love our country, see? Yeah, are you listening? Hear the passion in her voice when she decides, you know, she want to box a boy in her mouth if you lie about the country. Hear her she talk about the government of the country. She love our country same way. Same way I talk about the Canadian government. I can love Canada and Jamaica, but I don't like to see what they're doing to the people. I don't can't say, well, it's just progress, you know. Not everybody can live on the same tabletop. I don't want them on no tabletop with no. I don't want your Mercedes and shit. I would sooner have a farm and a community of spiritual people. I know it sounds utopian, but that's what many of us seek. Well, proud of Queen Africa. Thank you for that one, Mrs. Tripp, because that's the consciousness we need in order to elevate and for Jamaica to grow. We need some truth being spoken by not only the artists, but the people, and then the people outside of Jamaica to see what we can do to help the people within. We cannot have those 21 or whatever number of families running the country and the government and still keeping 90% of the population poor or struggling. So, thank you, Queen Africa. The next tune is a triple spin, you know, because this next track is one where she's focused on the behavior of black women today and the pride she as a queen has in herself. And she trying to send a message. So that if you have a daughter out there, or a mom out there, or aunt or somebody who you think should hear this tune, just draw them near and run it for them. See? Run through my brother. I don't want you to put down the love vibes on it to move your side.
She don't mind being called a hoe. No black woman, won't you wait, black woman? Are you want the mother on the earth, black woman? Yes, I send them, send you home, black woman. Yes, black woman, you bird woman. The only one you mind now, catch up on broke on
You can play the commercial again right after this. And then play the next Kirk Diamond tune. And I will talk about it. Okay. I think they want Bill boy is not anything.
Redstone Inc. presents Reliving a Night at the Bamboo, Saturday, June 24th, Lee's Palace, 529 Bloor Street West, featuring two of Toronto's reggae pioneers, the Fugitive Band and the Satellites. Reminisce, share the memory, and dance like we used to. Tickets $15 online at tickets.fugitive.com or $20 at the door. Sponsored by Little Redstone Inc.
Run the cover shot.
Toronto Reggae and CanadianReggaeWorld.com.
But have you set up already, you know?
Yeah.
Have you set up already? No. Microphone actually. I can talk to the person. Yeah, so, yeah, this is you. Pull that around. And, yeah, set you up. I know traffic out there not so good at all. Everybody there today, trust me. So, it's a blessing to have you in the place. Talking to Kirk Diamond. So before we even talk, we played the marijuana track earlier because we had to. It was in a theme. So we're on the show. This is the title track of the album. See?
You say a long time, yes, you must have out ya. Never give up, me stay strong out ya. Cause me know, say me have to give up your out ya. Cause me for life, so me say me can out ya. I'm a fool, so me no fi sing no song, man, I'm gonna be a but if you don't trouble me, but if you trouble me, that bring a bam bam. And if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. no stop me heart. Me sing good songs for my fans because you know this a time I hit the world I want. I make sure that no bridge no burn. We must get what is due to me. Me not doctor, but patience no due to me. Me and me you to make it break up. My family do not really know that I'm gonna look up to. Me say a long time days to stand out ya. Never give up me strong out ya. I know some traffic never plan out. Can't keep on like this and this is never plan out ya. All of them know fi sing a song but me gun me a hand. And me mother say me sing them song me turn. But this man don't trouble no one. But if you trouble me that ring a bang bang. That if you stand for nothing you fall for anything. So I want you to know for sure now I will be great. No one later. No one later. I will be great. I will be great. No one later. No one later. I will be great. No one later. No one later. I will be greater. I will be greater.
Yeah, man. That's the one called Kirk Diamond. Saying now, or later, I will be what?
Greater.
Why you tell the people that? Because it sounds like you have some either belief in self or you're telling yourself what you know you're supposed to tell yourself if you're going to make it.
Well, this song here now, it was after taking a step back from the business, after the whole JuLion thing and all that.
See?
And then after we look back and we see everything what we go through to get to that stage, and then a lot of people would know when they get to that stage of a different monster. The fight them where you fight before only get you to another fight. It's like a boxing match where you know say in order for you to be number one contender you have to fight to reach this. You know what I mean? And then it's like for me now when I went to the juniors it's like a different machine now where I have to go up against, whereas like before when I was writing the song them like just to write song. And I mean the slackness, everything mixed up in a one. Trying to really root out what was me from what wasn't me, what was true to me and what wasn't, you know what I mean, feeling right with me and stuff like that. And there was nobody there to guide me to say, okay, Kirk, you need to do this or what you feel about the song me right. Nobody was not there, period. As soon as me get to juniors now, everybody have an opinion. You know what I mean? Every single person all of a sudden have an opinion. Kirk, you need to write like this. You know?
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was something I honestly couldn't take because then it was like all of a sudden I like get threatened now like, okay, if you're not the them song here, well we're not promote it anymore. We're not gonna play your song them. You're not gonna do show, you're not gonna do festival, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. Right? And I said, okay. But then if I work with you, then another person is saying, well, if you work with that person, you can't work with me, you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever. And so I'm like, well, I was doing all of this before either of you guys. You know what I mean? And I talk about like countless amount of people. You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, I got here without any of you, period. So when I step back, reload my gun them and say, okay, well, if you're there at the crosshairs, then sorry. You know what I mean? So now it came to a point where anything happened, it never really mattered to me again. I get nominated for a Juno again because of the songs that I'm seeing. If I don't get nominated, I should say, then so be it. At least I know that there was truth in my music. You know what I mean? And that is something I'm going to live with.
Well, you see, from a personal standpoint, me I did hook up long before Juno. And me tell you, say, straight to your face, say, I feel say you have something in there. Me tell you to your face.
Yeah.
And this is before I even knew you, just from one of your performances. Because I could feel the energy and the passion in what you're trying to say. But as it pertains to this country and thing, being here for all the years the one thing about music, it don't change. Good music is good music no matter what. That is my daughter Lola Rose. She doesn't care what I am doing. She going to call me. Anyway. She know me up on the show too. Anyway, your energy has been, when I spoke to you last again when we were all at Remix that night.
Yeah, None Mystics.
Yeah. And you were one of the very first. I must commend you in front of everybody. When I started to talk about Rastafari against domestic abuse, you were the first male to step up and say something. And that is something that I am proud to say and see other Rastafari black man stepping forward and defending woman. I commend you, I thank you. But the night of the remix thing, you said to me, something happened to you when you started growing here and you made that commitment. What was it that guided you there?
You mean with the whole starting of the locks and everything?
Yes, sir.
Well, see, a lot of people wouldn't know. I've been twisting the ear since I was young. As far as I could remember, I was always twisting. But you know, Jamaican parents and that not go fly. You know what I mean? That does not fly. You know, and my uncle came from New York and I had on a little tam like, but my hair wasn't even grown. I had a haircut and everything, but him said, "Oh, you look like you take it," because he's a Rasta. And from my knowing, he has been a Rasta. He's the only one in my family that I knew. Rasta. And then he said, "You look like you're up on the right side now, man." I said, "What do you mean? Like you look like your hair longer now, man." And I said, "No." And the man said, "No, man, it's time." You know what I mean? And then everywhere I go, like it's always been that Kirk, you know, we see something different, boy. Like you need the way I reason them, say the way I speak and the way I articulate my word and stuff like that is always, you have something about you that you don't know yet, but when you reach that level, then you're gonna see it start.
When they tell you?
Yeah, and you tell me that too. From the first time I seen it.
Yes, man.
From S-Curl and Mohawk and all other something.
Just cool, man. Whenever I tell the people about the curl, man, just cool, man.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, but then it's like now when I start to relax now, I realize that certain people start weed out themselves. You know what I mean?
They run fast.
Run fast.
Not it. Duppy run fast.
Yeah.
And them are ones and ones when you obviously challenge you because they know you from the curls days.
Yeah.
You know what I say? The Rastafari is an inbound concept. So whether you know, me never start grow mine till me in my late 30s, just like you, coming from an Anglican, Presbyterian, Christian, Jamaican background and this and that. I'm like, you know something, this has been in me from ever since. And once you start to do it, you start to let yourself be what you must. Everything around you changes, man. Yeah. Everything changes. And
even the way people even my friends, and because I don't sell out my friend for nothing. You know what I mean? But even the way they deal with me is different because of it. You know what I mean? So they speak to me different now. Before it was, you know, all Rua or whatever not and slack talking and stuff. And now it's like them talk to me different than how I see them talk amongst themselves.
I'm not saying even want to get the conversation.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Literally know you don't even want to get.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And one of the things about Rastafari as a youth coming out, which is why I've always been proud of it, is when I used to look to elders and I saw it was almost there's something in their countenance, in their face that they let out. It is 8:50. I cannot. I want to hear the next track, you know. And not just going on to talk to you. And want the people to hear your music. I just got these the other night, and if I send them to one of my DJ, them selector Spicy God.
Yeah.
She said, "Thank you for the tunes." Run a track from that. This one is Double Jeopardy.
Okay.
Yeah, man. This is how it's said.
Like saying about
Alright, yeah. You rap it.
other one, them loving away out the choreograph.
The girls them is not here yet. I'm going to give some more.
Yeah, man.
You are.
So, well, the shoe coming out, you know the wrong place.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, so let's go on. We have to get it in 9 minutes.
From your father. Yeah, more Kirk Diamond underneath that. Your favorite track, we don't have it here. Give Thanks, you said.
Yeah.
I will have it by the next time we come to the show. I did get all of them, but I get on. It's 6 tracks were sent. I picked 3 quickly, and made my notes about some of the things I wanted to deal with about. Congratulations, you know. We should have did, you know, more. You're gonna have to come back for a second one.
Yeah, man, definitely.
And even actually come in and co-host the show with me, so you can bring some topics where you want to talk about.
Okay. Sounds good.
You see, and then we're there with us, you know. We can go back and forth debating if we need to be, or just say what you want to say. Musically, your growth is pretty obvious.
Thank you.
Yeah, the energy is changed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter sometimes if certain people fall on and off of the bandwagon. You know your journey. Some will stay, some will go.
Yeah, because remember, you know, not your journey is not always everybody else's journey. You know what I mean? And that is basically what this EP is saying too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You're grasping it because this is about music and about the message that I have sent. And sometimes it may not be supposed to be a hit song, but it's still something coming out of your heart and soul.
Yeah.
So that is weird, and that is why I'm telling you, your energy is just different, and it's nice to see this. We do have enough conscious people. We don't have enough people even trying to be conscious. It's like they're not trying to elevate from where they were. And education is full-time. When you leave school, that was programming. Education happens after that. And I notice you read, you educate you, and then you're telling stories.
Yeah.
And I need you to continue doing it.
I'll do that, man.
I need an extra before we get 55, and we'll still have a couple minutes. So this one is called Desire.
Love in our art.
Alright, Love in Our Heart. Listen, tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever read him? You ever read him? We can't go ahead and freestyle on.
Gun in our hand. Them no like to see when we a dance and galang. Them no like to hear when we a DJ and galang. But if them know what we know, they can them pass and galang. Because we not give we like for them go laugh and galang. After me the pirate we a blast a cannon. Can't stop we from fly car we a not for them. Galang.
More consciousness from the one called Kirk Diamond, because the only thing you can get from coal when you pressure it out.
Diamond.
Alright, okay, I just checking. I wasn't sure I was hearing the right lyric. Yo, Errol, we know at 9 o'clock, but we said we can't have him in the place and not have him freestyle.
We'll check that rhythm, man.
We're going to check the rhythm first?
Yeah.
Like, check our rhythm, man, like I said.
Yeah.
Hold on, run the place. Run it for them. Hold on, run the place. Yo, hold on. How we are do, boy?
Too much of that.
Just do an acapella.
Yeah, it depends on what the artist would like to do. What moves you? Do you want to do a poem? Do you want to sing a song? Do you want to run a couple of lyrics for us? What comes to mind?
No, do anything. Do anything, man.
Yeah.
That is on your thing.
Yeah, well, a cappella, and when you're talking to who you want to send this to, look right now the camera there.
Oh, well, anybody that take it for what it is, you know what I mean? But you can do an acapella.
Yes, sir.
Usually I use rhythm still, but that's right.
Well, we try to find one.
But that's too.
Let's see. Ambition is not something where we lack. On this big plantation, some know that I will do the job as long as the trade fair plus. What this I can me that Can save $1 from a pay, but my boss ain't done rich in Tech 6. 7 chip and 1 Bex if me call in sick. Can I threaten me with notice? Boss boy know this. Tomorrow you go notice. Say I quit. Your unfair cap no fit me. And mama tell me from I was a pitney I quit. Yeah.
Voodoo. I got that. Yo, people, this is Conscious Roots Reggae Radio. Traffic today was, everybody was late, so we never get enough of Kirk Diamond. I wanted to do a full hour with this young man because it's one of those people that I am grateful is on the Canadian side, but as you are fully aware, reggae music is not a Jamaican, Canadian only thing. It's a global market.
Yeah, because reggae itself is bigger than the island or any landmark you want to say, you know what I mean?
Bigger than. So
it is spiritual, it is everything.
Right.
You know, so I'm glad to be on the good side of it.
As the Canadian reggae flag seems to be rising globally, and it is good to have depth of talent. So when one goes, there's others to follow.
Right.
And I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna predict to the eyes on that track, right?
I respect, man. I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate of it.
Yes, and you know, this is your first album.
Yeah, my first EP, a small album. But the work that went into this was one that took everything out of me. You know what I mean?
Supposed to.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it has been everything that I've been through in music so far came out in these 7 songs. You know what I mean? For the ups and downs, the lyrics that I just did a while ago from one of the songs that I call I Quit, which is basically me quitting everything that wasn't right with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Like, you know, we don't really give up on anything. But there's certain stuff where you have to let go of.
The negative, if you
know
drop
what I mean?
them off, you drop out the negative skills.
Them say, in order for you to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. And you have to drop it off. You know what I mean? So that's what that song is about. You know, so this the whole project, everything from being greater to letting go of certain things and growing, that is what all of this is about, you know.
Insane.
Yeah.
Zaya eyes are must in the place. Yeah, I want to say big up to the one called Errol, the engineer, who runs this program on a regular basis, like our drill sergeant. He's on, we can rat him out, I'm throw my debos all the while. But I'm rated, you know, is an energy in this room. I thank Zia is a must for coming in, and I know you're there listening. Julie, don't think I'm not going to say something. Thank you for holding that camera. And the one called Kirk Diamond, Roots Reggae Radio, that's it.
Yeah,
I appreciate loves you.
Yeah. Here.
You see that? Blessed love. Have a blessed night, my people. Aye.
Little Redstone Inc.